my gardening chums. Welcome to Garden Invaders. Now, as ever on Garden Invaders, we use a lot of power, don't we?
We do, yeah, we need it.
For our old power tools. But this is the only place we've ever been where we actually have to generate the electricity ourselves just by gasifying wood chips.
Mad, isn't it?
Absolutely bonkers.
Keep digging, everybody!
Yes, this is probably the smallest power station you will ever see. This is a truly amazing place.
Yeah, we're in BedZED housing development in Sutton, South London, and I've done a design for the garden, and we've got the invaders, you can see digging away, we've got all the materials, and we've got the plants, but there's a catch.
Always, I ask questions, correct answers, win plants.
Only way.
Simple, small garden, but a lot of work to do.
We're going to need a lot of power today.
When you finish that, meet us over there to start digging out the garden. You're very kind. Today we're with Kendall Marsland Murray and her husband Paul. Kendall and Paul decided to move into this landmark development in South London. They have one son already and another baby on the way, so life is incredibly hectic. The garden's been neglected. That's why we're here. It is an amazing place, this. You don't expect to find it when you kind of drive out the other side of Croydon.
That's for sure.
To be fair.
Yeah, it was. We came across it actually on a gardening show where they were talking about small confined spaces and how in central London you can still have nice outdoor living space even in a high density development, because this development has density equivalent to Soho, yet everybody's got a garden.
Well, they're sort of Teletubby things on the, you know.
And these are wind cowls. Basically, the actual houses themselves are airtight because of the whole insulation and what have you.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, that's got issues with air quality, like you've got to breathe. Yeah. So these things at the top are for ventilation.
What I love about this kind of whole development is the fact that you have modular gardens all the way along, and it's like everybody's got the same, but you have to kind of personalise the space.
Yeah.
Which is nice. So why haven't you bothered?
I think we've personalised it, but just not to the extent that we would like. We're both working full-time. We've got an 18-month-old son and another due in 4 weeks. So, yeah, we are fairly strapped for time.
Is it a space, though, that you guys use a lot?
Yes, definitely, particularly in summer months like now.
But it's very small, isn't it? I mean, that's the thing. You know, it is very small.
Compact and bijou.
I think it's like 3 by 4.5 metres or something. So, you know, you're very restricted in what you actually can do, especially if you want to make it a practical space, you know, for the kids, and also somewhere to entertain and relax. And, you know, I'm sure we can make an improvement anyway.
All right.
That's
no
really
worries.
hard.
OK, so what we need is obviously somebody gardening, somebody answering questions.
Yep.
I assume you're probably going to be doing the questions.
I think it's probably best.
I think it probably is best, which means you're going to be working.
Be a first, but yeah, go on.
I'll leave you with Jay, and we'll carry on and do some modular questions.
Thanks.
OK, good. We've got a great view from up here of all the guys doing the work.
Yep.
Thank you, Dave. Right, I've done a design here. Now, keeping it very simple. We have to, because it's such a small space.
Sure.
So we're going to pave it, nice and rectangular paving, just link it to the interior. OK, so it's going to have that sort of indoor-outdoor feel, because you've got the glass at the back of the house. I think that'll work very well. And then we're going to put railway sleepers around the edge for the planting. And then in this corner down here, we're going to double up the sleepers, so they're going to be like for seating on, like a perching on. So, and also they're going to give a two-tiered effect. I think they'll work well visually too. And we're going to replant most of it, but obviously Kendall's got a window plant, so we're going to have to play that bit by ear.
Sure. Oh.
Cheers, Guy.
Okay. Thank you.
That's your Invader for a Day t-shirt.
Right.
Wear it with pride.
Absolutely.
And we better go down there and get stuck in, eh?
Let's go on.
Come on. Now, Kendall's from Australia, so she plants a eucalyptus, of course. Lovely trees, one of my favourite. They're beautiful, but it's just far too near the house. This root system is going to go down and down and down, and the tree's going to go up and up and up. It is simply not appropriate. It's got to go. So I'm going to cut it down.
I just love the fact that you end up like with 2 gardens in your house. I mean, this is the neighbours, but the same setup, isn't it?
Yeah, it's brilliant for us because you get this sort of front from this sky garden, you get a front aspect of your own property. That's
of course,
just phenomenal.
You're looking over and straight through into your house because of all the glass. It's just a brilliant design. Your neighbours very kindly loaned their sky garden to us. We've obviously improved it a little by adding a bit more foliage. These are all the plants that Joe's chosen specifically for your garden, which is obviously a challenge because of how small it is.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's going to be interesting to see how we get all these plants in there, I have to say. That'll be part of the design.
Yeah.
The main groups, we've got a kind of Antipodean group over there.
Suit me.
Very appropriate for you.
Yeah.
A second group here, exotics we've called them. Bit of a mixed bag, but again gives that kind of real jungly feel. We've then got grasses, and my favourites. You can never have too many grasses. Yeah. They look absolutely fantastic. Yeah. Some short, some taller, and then climbers at the end. So some really nice plants here. Is this the kind of thing you had in mind, plant-wise?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I quite like strong architectural type plants, and it seems like that's what Joe's chosen, so I'm happy.
Now, over there on the Sky Bridge is this unusual place, obviously, to put a barbecue, but it looks nice there, so that's why we put it there. But that's right at the end of the show.
Yeah.
Him indoors has to answer a horticultural question after his labours and toiling in the garden to get the barbecue and all the little goodies on there. Okay. Your job, though, is simply to get plants. First group is over there, your Antipodeans. Cordyline Australis, or the cabbage palm, is a native to New Zealand. It's fast growing and can reach a whopping height of 20 metres. Plant it in a sunny spot for full-on tropical appeal. Phormium purpureum is an evergreen clump-forming plant that can reach 2 metres in height. Its tall arching leaves can provide an architectural element to any garden. Another phormium, this one is Jester. It's a colourful little number, but half the height of purpureum and not as hardy. Protected in the winter if it's not in a sheltered position. You've probably got those plants at home in your garden in Australia, I would think.
Yes.
Lots of them. Huge, big ones down under. OK, let's hope we get them for your garden. Here's your question. Good luck. What scientific instrument would you use to check if the ground is warm enough to plant seeds? Is it an hydrometer? Is it a thermometer? Or is it a swingometer?
I think a thermometer measures temperature.
Yeah, it could be, couldn't it?
You
see, I thought a slightly easy question to start with because, you know, you're heavily pregnant and your brain must be addled.
Yeah.
Sure, that's what all pregnant mothers tell me.
I would have to agree.
Correct answer, well done. Yes, you get the plants. They'll go on a rather interesting route to the back garden, which means going over the Sky Bridge, down the house, round the corner, up another set of steps. So it's a bit of a long journey.
I love designing these small urban gardens because you have to get the most out of a small space, but at the same time it's got to look good, especially this garden because this glass wall at the back of the house is going to be constantly viewed from inside the house. So also we've got to link the two spaces together quite cleverly. So we're going to put some paving, some hard paving down. It's a much more practical surface than the grass that was here before. And we can put a railway sleeper retaining wall all the way around, hug in the existing wall, keeping it nice and rectangular. It's going to work well, strong geometry. In this corner, we're going to have 2 sleepers on edge, so we're going to have a 2-tiered level change here, and at the same time, somewhere to sit, a good use of space. And then coming around here, we're going to have to return the wall in again because there's this water butt that's in the way, and we don't want to be starting messing around with that. Now, the great thing about this site, it's got this lovely galvanised mesh all the way around, so we're going to grow a load of climbers over that. And also, it's quite open, it's quite exposed to the neighbours, so we're going to try and create a little bit more privacy. There's a lot of work to be done, but at the same time, it's a congested space, so we've got to be careful we don't get in each other's way. So this is going to be a combination of practicalities, hopefully, and also it's going to look great too.
I'm assuming Anna Ryder Richardson chose the colour scheme for these things on the roof.
Yeah, some sort of design principle was played there. I don't know quite what.
They do look fantastic, though, do they? Against the clouds and stuff. I love them. There's a really serious side to this, though, in terms of energy management, isn't there? As an example to others, basically, who are designing new housing developments. So how does it work, briefly?
Well, basically, the development's aimed for zero carbon emissions, and to do that you have to produce your own electricity on site in an environmentally friendly way. And here they use wood chip and they burn it through a gasifier that produces all our electricity and hot water for the whole development. We've also got some PV solar panels that we use as backup, and that's to power some electric cars on site. And all the wood chip that we use here to supply our electricity is all produced from well-managed forests in the local area. In fact, Croydon is certified as a well-managed forest, which is hard for a lot of people to believe when they drive through.
You never knew that, did you, eh? Croydon in Surrey is a well-managed forest.
There you go.
Extraordinary. Excellent stuff. Now, more plants required in the garden. Your next group up for grabs are these exotics. Phoenix canariensis is one of the most stunning of all palms. Looks tropical, but it is fairly hardy. Plant in rows for dramatic effect or on its own as a focal point. And we've got a selection of variegated yuccas. They're evergreen and can provide a bright, sunny glow to the garden, even in the middle of winter. Plant near the back of a border to keep children away from those spiky leaves. So here we go for the exotics. Which popular flower takes its name from the Arabic word for turban, referring to the flower's shape? Is it thyme, tulip, or rose?
Well, my gut reaction would be tulip.
Always go by gut reactions. That's my advice in life because it's the correct answer.
Oh, fair. Yes.
There we go, perfect. More plants on their way through the housing development.
We're building this garden in rather a reverse order. Normally we would put the paving down and do the edging later, but here we need to get the railway sleepers in first so that we can dig all the soil out. And we're trying to keep as much soil on site as possible, because otherwise we've got to skip it and it's a complete waste. So we're using these lovely oak beams, these railway sleepers. They're gorgeous, it's nice to use them. They're green oak, but they are a hard wood. And we're going very linear with the design all the way back, and it's sort of echoing that lovely linear window at the back there, and it's coming together pretty well. And that's exactly what you're meant to be doing there, Dave, because this here, where we put two, one on top of the other, brings it up to the perfect seating height.
There's the perfect. Do you know, I like you. The only designer I know that encourages me to sit down.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I like the way you're sitting down on the job.
Absolutely.
Now, how are you building this?
I've been putting them together with these. An amazing product. They are just very, very long bolts.
Yeah.
But they don't need piloting. They'll pull themselves through. Even this tough hardwood oak.
Okay.
They'll pull themselves straight
Now,
through.
when you say piloting, what do you mean exactly?
Well, if you're fixing two pieces of timber together, you drill a clearance hole and then a pilot hole, so your screw goes in straight and tight. Which takes a long time. You're going to be changing drill bits all the time. With these, it'll just drive straight through into the oak.
Fantastic.
Really, really good thing.
And that's quite a hard wood as well.
It's a very hard wood, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very hard wood.
And how are you fixing them behind then?
Stakes. You see me stakes?
Oh yeah.
Look at that.
All right, so you just bang them straight into the ground?
Straight into the ground, up to about there. You've got that much proud.
Yeah.
So the sleeper fits above it, so you can't see that on the back in the flower bed, because I know you designers don't like it, do you?
No, we don't like it. We don't want to see any of that around the front. But you know what I really like about sleepers is they don't need foundations.
Nope.
You know, they don't need all the sand and cement and everything that you've got with bricks. Just come in, place them, stake them at the back. It's really quick, isn't it?
Perfect for Garden Invaders.
Perfect for Garden Invaders, but at the same time, they look great.
And they do look great, and a great product.
And you can sit on them.
And you can sit on them.
But not today.
Oh,
Get on with it.
No. All right,
It's gone awfully quiet on the development, which means they're either having a tea break or they're doing something delicate.
Should we be worried?
Yeah, well, I'm going to go and check in a minute and see what they're doing. But first, you need another group of plants, and they are the grasses. Miscanthus sinensis gracilimus, or maiden grass, much easier to say, is one of the most dramatic of all grasses. It bears pinky, silvery plumes in late summer that persist into the winter and look great when they're covered in frost. Miscanthus zebrinus, or the zebra grass. It's not difficult to see why this one got its name. It's a graceful, clump-forming grass with unusual horizontal bands on the leaves. Here's your question. Good luck. Which of these flowers grows from a tuber? Is it crocus, carnation, or dahlia?
I would have to go with a dahlia, I think.
You go for dahlia. Is this another gut feeling?
Yes.
Your guts are working well today, let me tell you. They really are. They're going in the garden too. I'm going to take them with me. OK, I'll find my way back to your garden. You can chill out here. All right, and then when I come back, we've got your final group of plants and then a little DIY challenge.
Brilliant.
It's all going very well.
Yeah.
Right. When you've done that, Paul, grab this if you'd be so kind. Thank you very much. Stan, out the way, mate. I'm coming over. What do you mean, oh, blimey? Oh, it's getting very small in here, Paul.
Aye.
If you don't, you had quite a big garden this morning.
Yeah, like I say, it's shrinking by the minute.
It must be something to do with the number of people in here.
Can't help thinking there's a cause and effect there. Yeah.
I think so. Have you ever had this many people working in your garden at one go?
Not working, other than sort of drinking or eating.
Yes. Well, at least we prove you get a lot of people in here. What's your kind of thoughts at the moment?
It's going to be fantastic, I've got to say. It really is coming along fabulously.
Yeah, so this is kind of what you had in mind, is it?
No, but it's fine.
And what have you been up to, very quickly?
I've been shoveling in a ton of topsoil, those paving slabs, and trying not to get in too many people's way.
Good, so they're keeping you occupied?
Oh, yeah.
Well, carry on then. Where is Mr. Joe?
Over here, mate.
Over here, mate.
Yes, son. How can you lose me in a garden so big?
Listen, you've made this smaller.
I haven't. It feels a lot bigger already. That's a lie. It feels a lot bigger.
Presumably this is going to be paving, is it?
This is going to be hard paving here.
Right.
See the level change already. We've redistributed the soil on site. Nothing.
Environmentally friendly thing to do.
Yes.
Like it.
And nothing's been taken away, and it's added much more interest already. Wouldn't you say?
All right, excellent.
Yeah.
No problems either. Just
no problems
smoothly.
today so far until you've just turned up. That could be a problem.
Congestion, maybe.
Yes. Have you paid the congestion charge?
£5 every time you come in the garden.
Every time.
The garden is moving on.
Brilliant.
Which is good news for you. So they weren't having a tea break. Only problem is, though, being such a small garden and so many in our team that they are literally kind of, trying to manoeuvre tools like this. So it's a lot of man management going on in there at the moment, but it's moving on very nicely. One of the things I love walking through here is the fact that everybody uses every opportunity to grow something.
Yeah.
Everywhere there's kind of plants, and particularly the sedums on the roof are absolutely spectacular, aren't they?
It does add slightly to the insulation, but it's already got 300 mil of insulation below it anyway, so in that respect it's minimal, but it's more for biodiversity, to increase sort of wildlife, if you like, of birds and bees on the development.
And if the old wives' tales are to be believed, it means you'll never be struck by lightning either. So how convenient is that? Because then you would be selling some electricity back to the grid, wouldn't you?
Right. If you could capture it.
Right, more plants required. Last group are your climbers. Trachylospermum jasminoides, or the star jasmine, is a native of eastern India, an evergreen climber and a fast grower. This little jewel will fill your garden with a sweet perfume throughout the summer. Japanese honeysuckle is a vigorous climber that smells great, especially in the evening. The flowers start white, then change to yellow as they get older. To get them, all I need to know, out of the 3 plants on this table,
Yep.
which one is native to Australia? This one is probably the most obvious, actually, and you go, oh yeah, that's a banana. This is a red robin, Phytinia, and that is a Pittosporum.
Well, my gut feeling is this one, because it looks Australian.
Unfortunately, your gut has failed you on this occasion. It's the Pittosporum that's native to Australia.
Oh no.
So,
is that otherwise known as anything
start
else?
sending the postcards from Australia now.
Recycling is part of everyday life here, and it's also part of the whole ethos of this community. Now, in the garden, we can use recycled materials, but you've got to use them carefully for visual effect. Right? Look at these glasses. Lovely chipped glass, this blue glass, we got green, a light blue, and this sort of just off white one. And they look great as an accent colour in the garden, but don't just sort of spread it all over your garden and have plants popping through it. It just looks too much. You've got to think 1-2 years down the line how it's going to look in the future. These look great when you mulch around a plant on the top of a pot, but I would just stick to one colour. Don't put every colour under the sun in, and just stick with one colour in a garden and just continue it throughout. Now these are recycled bark chips, and these are great as well. They're really good for kids' play areas, and it'll help brighten up a kids' play area. They come in loads of different colours these days. They're safe for pets, they're safe for kids, and they'll keep their colour. And what you do is mulch about 2 inches deep, and they make a really soft landing. Now this is recycled green waste, and local authorities and councils are doing it much more these days. They're collecting it all, they're taking it to one centre, and they're just mashing it all up. And over about 16 weeks, you'll end up with this lovely fine stuff that you can use as a mulch on your garden, as a general soil conditioner, or you can mix it up with some multi-purpose in your pots. It's great stuff. These days we're all much more ecologically friendly, and we're worried about what we put into our gardens. Now you don't have to go the whole hog, but every little bit helps.
Would you consider yourself creative?
I think I can be creative.
Can you? Prove it then. Make something out of this little lot. I'll start you off by finishing off your frame. Now it's all down to you. Playing the old saw again. I can't help it. Every time I pick up a saw, I've got to play it now.
Yeah, you do. You play it badly as well.
Can I use it for something more constructive?
Yes, you can. recycling old fence posts
Yeah.
into something nice.
So from a previous job.
From a previous job, yes.
Well, and that's the brief, is it? Just make something nice.
No, the brief is, well, I thought sort of candle holding type thing, you know? It's only a small garden, not a lot of space, but there's
Right.
no outdoor light there.
Okay.
And candlelight is beautiful, flickering. Obviously, the kids are in bed, time for the parents to relax, bit of candlelight, maybe, you know, maybe a glass of wine or something.
Worked for you in the past, hasn't it?
Certainly has.
You and her indoors.
What do you think? Are you good
I can
at
do it.
woodworking?
Go. Go. I'm sure you got things to do.
You haven't got a lathe?
You're boring me. Go.
There you go. See, I'm doing a big bit of paving and leaving the boys to do the small bit over there. Just finishing it off. Nice little bit of detail in the seat. Ties the area together quite nicely, I have to say. Now, Dave, we've had to throw everybody out of the garden, haven't we?
We have.
Yes.
We have. Because of my patio.
And how have we laid this patio then?
We've laid it with a pitch this way.
Yeah.
So all the water's going to hit those windows, run down the front of the house, and straight down here.
Yeah, that's quite critical, isn't it? Yeah, and we've got a channel through here that we're going to cover with slate chippings.
Yep,
And the
that's
water's
right.
going to drain under there and come out the weep hole there.
Out the wheat poles, indeed.
Absolutely. And then also we're running it all the way around here as well. And there's Guy doing the pointing, doing a very neat job on the pointing. Now that's quite tricky, isn't it? Because if you do it too wet, you're going to stain the paving. And if it's too dry, it sort of crumbles and doesn't really go off properly.
It won't go off. The key really is to pack it in as hard as you can.
Yeah, absolutely.
Get a glove or one of these little fellas.
Yeah.
My gesticulator and pointing tool.
Absolutely. Yes. And a nice soft brush.
A nice soft brush.
Yeah. Anyway, while we're stuck in here, anybody get us a cup of tea? We're a bit stuck. Cup of char?
Joe,
Yeah.
I've been working very hard on your fence post.
Yeah.
A little bit of design work gone on here, and I made that. Look,
Oh!
look at that, eh?
It's brilliant, Mark.
That's all right, isn't it?
You
Bit of-
never cease
Bit
to
of
amaze me.
22mm copper pipe.
beautiful.
Polished up, that'll go green.
That is really
And
nice.
that's the fence post taken down with the plane,
Excellent.
and then just sanded off.
That is really good. How many have you done of these?
I'm going to do 2.
Oh, can you do another one for my mum's birthday? She'd love it.
Big one, little one.
That's going to look great in here.
It's quite contemporary, isn't it?
Yeah, all right. You can go
I'm
now.
really rather-
Cameron, he's really pleased with himself,
I'm really
isn't he?
chuffed.
Yeah, it looks great. It's going to look lovely here. Next to this lovely Miscanthus Sinensis Silimus. This is a brilliant grass. Lots and lots of height, gets to about 6 feet tall. And it's got a vase shape with the foliage, really nice. And the leaf has got this white line right down the centre. And they go sort of purple in the autumn. You can see it's already got a purple stem, which is another great feature of this plant. And then it'll flower with sort of pinkish flower that you leave on all the way through the winter. And then if it gets frosted, it just catches the frost really nicely. So don't chop them down to the ground. But lots of height without too much spread. Just what we're looking for a small garden. This is a great plant if you want architectural foliage. Cheers, Dan. This is a Phoenix canariensis, or the Canary Island date palm. Now, it won't fruit in this country at all, but it will survive outdoors in sort of mild areas like London. It'll do absolutely fine here. But if it gets really cold, you should tie the fronds together like that to stop the frost getting right into the centre. Now, it's going to love it in this spot here because it's going to be well-drained soil because we've raised the beds up. We're going to set it back slightly in this corner because although the leaves aren't sharp, it can get a little bit spiky and want to keep it away from the kids. But it's going to be fantastic. It's going to get quite big. It's going to really hold this spot in the garden and be a great focal point.
Time to put your brain in gear, Paul,
Okay,
because you've been working very hard with your hands.
been trying to.
All right, now, finishing touches for the garden. You obviously want to entertain it. You said you're going to have a party, aren't you?
Absolutely, tomorrow night. Garden warming.
Tomorrow night?
Tomorrow night.
Hey, and a garden warming, we could make it a garden hotting with a barbecue.
Yep.
Here's your question. Good luck. I'm sure you'll have no problems with this. Bramley seedling is a variety of which fruit? Is it pear, cherry, or apple?
Apple.
Absolutely right. How simple is that?
It's just awesome.
Awesomely simple.
Absolutely.
Yes, you've cleaned me out apart from one question
Oh.
that Kendall didn't get right. So that's not bad at all.
There you
right?
go.
Now, you're done. Okay, so you can go inside, chill out, but don't tell Kendall anything about the garden.
Done deal.
All right, and then when we're finished, which shouldn't be long now, I'll come and get you both and show it to you.
Great.
All right, excellent. And I'll move this, because, you know, I'll do everything. It's all right, you go and relax. I'll carry everything over the bridge, down the stairs, up the stairs. Right, Kendall, describe to us what your garden looked like first thing this morning.
It was a fairly derelict lawn surrounded by borders of various shrubs and eucalyptus trees.
It's obviously changed over the day. Have a look at it now.
Oh my God! That's fantastic. That's brilliant.
Look, railway sleepers.
I know. Oh my God, thank you.
But it's a much more practical surface having a paved surface than that lawn, you know.
Yeah, it's nice and even.
Yeah, and you don't have to mow it either. It doesn't get muddy.
Result.
Paul, you got stuck in today.
Did it? Yeah, a ton of topsoil.
Yeah, you were good up those stairs with the barrow. Very impressed.
Because I have to say, this is not the easiest garden in terms of access for this kind of gear.
No, I can imagine.
It has to be said.
Yeah, maybe that's why we never got around to doing anything.
Absolutely.
And there's your project.
Hey!
You see over there?
It kind of works.
Well, yeah, it sort of kind of works.
It's kind of interesting. I mean, clearly Australians have a kind of interesting take on things.
Yeah. And Mark, look, you know what Mark made? Mark made your candle holders. Very much in keeping with the recycling theme. Mark recycled them out of a fence post.
Oh, fantastic.
Chopped off old bits of fence posts, they were going to get lobbed.
Yeah.
Thought, no, we can turn them into something a little bit artistic.
That is
Yeah.
brilliant.
What does it mean to have this done in a day? Yesterday you woke up, you had your previous garden. Tomorrow morning you'll wake
Yeah.
up, open the doors and you've got this.
Yeah, it's phenomenal, especially with the next one due in less than 4 weeks. It's going to make a huge difference. I hadn't visualised anything like this at all. This is just way beyond my wildest dreams. It's fantastic.
An extraordinary place, mate, I have to say.
Oh, I love it here. I think it's great.
Lovely gardens, lovely community, and it's just fantastic that they're heading towards this zero energy.
Yeah, absolutely. It makes us all think about it, doesn't it?
We think about it so much now. The invaders have finished work in the garden and they've opted not to go to the pub, but to carry on recycling. So
Yeah.
go on, in you go.
In you go,
Sort
go
it out.
on.
Very nice, that's it.
right.
Another garden sorted.
Come on.
We'll see you next time.